Aloha everyone, and welcome back to another update of vacation rentals here on Oahu. Again, I apologize about this delay. This is now a 3-week update when they're supposed to be weekly updates, but just still been really busy. And all in all, the market's been quite busy. So the past 3 weeks we have 35 new listings and 14 sold properties. A lot of new inventory at Waikiki Sunset as well as Banyan. And kind of just give you a quick market overview right now is that there's kind of a disconnect between perceived value between buyers and sellers right now. The best way to describe it is that there are definitely buyers in the market and some things are moving pretty quickly. And as you'll see here when I get to sold listings, there's some properties that have been selling at still premium price points, but there's a lot more inventory these days. And I'd say the market's shifting to a buyer's market. But it also seems like that sellers have this idea that the properties are worth more than probably what market value is at this moment. But again, it's a unique thing where some properties are still selling for a premium, in my opinion. So I can understand why some sellers are pretty firm on their price. I've had some clients making offers, but on some properties, again, sellers are just pretty firm on what they want. That being disclosed, let's get started here. It's probably at Kuhio. So this is a studio at Kuhio Village, number 1, 5th floor, 286 square feet, priced at $315,000. Please note that there's 2 towers at Kuhio Village. The second tower is a leasehold. Here's your monthly fees here. This is a very basic building, one of the most, I'd say, more of an entry-level building for vacation rental investors and even for guests. It's kind of more of a budget property. Decent looking unit though. It has one of the larger floor plans. And then that's really cramming in the beds. I would do a different furniture configuration than that. But not a too bad of a price in my opinion. Hawaiian Monarch on the 16th floor, studio 223 square feet, quite small, $328,000. Low monthly fees here. If you're not familiar with Hawaiian Monarch, it's kind of the Malcasetta Waikiki around the corner of Macaulay and Alawai. Both these streets get a lot of traffic, so lower floor units will get some street noise. But this is kind of a standalone tower set back here. A lot of the units have some great views. You can see here, this one has Diamond Head eastward facing, Alawai. You get some great sunrises. They did a nice job with this unit. I mean, tastefully furnished. And nice views. I really am not a fan of these really small units, but this is really nicely done. And not a bad price in my opinion. Island Colony on the 10th floor, $360,000, 302 square feet. Views down there. This is a pretty common look to some units at Island Colony. Not my favorite. I just had clients close on a nice studio this past week at Island Colony. Here's the pool deck here. I think it's just priced a little high based on the comps and with that condition. Luana Waikiki on the 4th floor, $378,000 studio, 313 square feet. Vast majority of the units at Luana are these hotel furnishings. This is a very standardized look. You can customize these units if you want to. And if you're going to do nightly rentals, I would highly recommend customizing because there's really no other way to charge a higher nightly rate. Well, I mean, you can compete with views and stuff, but comparing apples to apples, if you could customize your unit, just make it stand out in the pictures, odds are that's going to lead to a higher occupancy and higher nightly rates if you do a good job. And keep in mind with this building that for nightly guests, if they're not in the hotel pool, they do have to pay a $35 hotel amenity fee when they check in. Some property managers have the guests pay that. Sometimes the manager pays that or the owner pays it. And this is also set back, obviously, from the ocean. Ocean's over here past Fort Jersey Park. Island Colony, nice studio on the 24th floor, 309 square feet, priced at $380. Similar look to that earlier Island Colony. Just on the other side of the building, so you're going to have westward facing views. little high in my opinion. Island Colony on the 16th floor. This is a really nice custom unit here, 399,000. Asking a premium though, 305 square feet. Very unique how they've done this. I've never seen a layout like this Island Colony, but I like it. Unfortunately, most of these pictures are small. You know, they did a really nice kitchen area, but this is kind of basic, and I'm not just keen on the track lighting right here, but it has a split AC. Nice. There have been some studios that have sold just above 400,000. I think that record was just set about a month ago at 415. But that's pretty high there on the 16th floor. See what happens there. Another one, Island Colony on the 38th floor. Similar price point, just under 400,000. Got a little bit of ocean views. I do like this stack they're in. But based on comps, they're pushing the valuation there. Kalakauan, this is a kind of a unique, or not unique, but a rare one bed, one bath at Kalakauan. This is a really boutique building. 6th floor, priced at 428,000, 437 square feet. This is just looking on Kalakaua, around the corner of Macaulay. So these two streets also you have. So here you have Hawaiian Monarch right over here. So for units facing Kalakaua, most likely you're going to be dealing with some street noise. If you're on the opposite side, the Makai side, ocean side, not too bad. I actually prefer, there's some nice units in, but I would definitely want to own on the ocean side of the building. And this is tastefully updated. There have been some one bedrooms that sold at this price point, but I prefer to see things under 400,000. But I mean, for Waikiki, Honolulu, not a bad thing to buy a one bedroom, you know, right around this price point. Your monthly fees here. Some units do come with parking. If they do have parking, I can justify a price point in the fours somewhere. But curious to see what that sells for. So we have a high floor studio at Island Colony on the 42nd floor, 309 square feet, priced at 439. This unit's just being brought back on the market. I've toured this. It's been on the market for quite a long time. Actually, owner occupied. I like that shot there. Custom remodeled. The owner spent a lot of money on this property. This is all custom here. Vinyl windows, double pane, sliding doors, nice AC unit. But look at the kitchenette area you'll see in a moment. Recessed lighting. But this is all custom. Curious on what would you think about this blue countertop, but it wraps around all the way from the entryway to the kind of bedroom wall. Very spacious. There you go. Has a nice feel to it when you're in there. But that is a high price point. The one I got, Waikiki, another studio. This is on the 14th floor, 316 square feet, price at 455. It's a nice stack to own in. Again, I'm not gonna go through all these photos because it's just identical to that other unit we looked at earlier. But I do like those views. Royal Garden Waikiki. Studios don't come on the market too often there. Just on the 21st floor, 381 square feet, price at 458,000. Monthly fees here. This building is tucked between Kuhio and Alawai. Excuse me, let me zoom back in here. Right off of Olohana. Pretty quiet street, but keep in mind, I just had a client who was looking to buy a non-STR building, and they're planning to build a bridge here. Just a bike pedestrian bridge across the Alawai here to connect the university. And they expect it's going to bring a lot of foot traffic through here. So right now these streets are pretty quiet with that footbridge. They've not gotten final permits, but it sounds like they've got the funds and it's going to happen at some point. This will kind of really change the dynamics of this area. But right now I'm a big fan of Royal Garden. These studios are pretty spacious, a lot of tile work you can see. There you go. Ilikai Marina. This is a studio on the 15th floor. These are really nice spacious studios, 427 square feet, priced at $470. It has AC Central, really desirable. All these studios at Ilikai Marina have mountain Mauka views. These units do have full kitchens, so you can get the best financing. This is really nice. Nice clean looking unit. Kind of got that, personally, kind of getting tired of this look here, just the gray whites. See a lot of properties the last few years that have done very similar looks, not just vacation rentals, but even single family and other condos. Bamboo, second floor studio, $359,000, $500,000. Your monthly fees here. We're actually just taking over management of a unit in Bamboo. I have a client who owns in Bamboo. It's a studio and he does really well, but this is set a record by far. This unit sells at $500,000. So this is kind of, I mean, people may enjoy this looking over the pool deck. There's a saltwater pool, waterfall, jacuzzi, bar, restaurant here. Curious if you'd like all that track lighting on the ceiling. Nice and clean. I mean, definitely, they did spend some fair amount of money getting this thing remodeled. Kind of weird though, have you the TV here. Really no area to sit. You got the desk, but I guess you're watching TV mostly from the beds. Nice to have this full kitchen. I've never seen a studio at Bamboo with a full kitchen, dishwasher. I mean, they really did a quality job here on the remodel. Beautiful. And there are some some buyers who really are willing to pay a premium for these turnkey higher end units. But that's just really pushing it. There's some one bedrooms at Bamboo where you can buy around $100,000 less than this unit here. Not as nice, obviously, but that's a steep price for. I'd love to see them get it, but that's pushing it. Marine Surf Studio, 5th floor, $392,000, $564,000. Another really well-maintained unit here. And based on this condition, I mean, it's a little high based on comps, but this is within reason to get an offer based on the condition of this unit. And again, this is another studio with a full kitchen, so I can get the best bank financing. Split AC, nice upgrade. And personally, I really like this look a lot better than the gray-white that we saw earlier in that Ilikai Marina. This to me just very classy. I like that. Very nice job. And we manage a couple units in Marine Surf, and they do high occupancy and cash flow quite well. Ilikai on the 24th floor is a 1 bed, 1 bath, 500 square feet, price at $630,000. Only 2 photos here. Just keep in mind any units at Ilikai on the 2nd and floors 23 through 25. If you don't use the hotel management services, you have to pay. So if you want to self-manage and use a third-party management company, you still have to use the hotel's daily house cleaning services as well as their maintenance services, and that gets pretty expensive. Waikiki Sunset, this just popped on the market today. 10th floor, NUC permit, $635,000. It's a 1 bed, 1 bath. These units do come with parking, 564 square feet. Keep in mind though is that a couple months ago the board tried to pass where they were going to start billing, charging nightly rental guests $35 a night for parking. Right now it's free. Obviously a lot of owners that do operate vacation rentals in the building were not happy about that because free parking really adds quite a bit of value for guests. So I was later told by an owner that it was postponed till January of 2026. Well, I just ran into one of the board members last week, and he says that the board is unanimous that they want to do it. They just don't know when they're going to implement it. But he did say that there are about 70 owners who kind of organize, and they're pushing the board to just raise the monthly fees and still offer free parking to vacation rental guests. He didn't seem like that was likely going to be the path the board goes. It seems like they really are going to just move forward with it, charging for parking. So that is obviously going to have an effect on owners' cash flow, probably bring values down a little bit. But this is a pretty nice looking unit here. So Sunset, it's kind of Waikiki Banyan right here. It's a good shot. As I mentioned in the past, I'm not keen on carpet at all in vacation rentals, even in any properties in Hawaii, just because of all the moisture here. But particularly for vacation rentals, all the dirt, dust, really hard to keep clean. In Sunset, it's required to have carpet in the bedrooms, but I would definitely put tile or vinyl flooring in the living room space. Keep in mind, though, there is a special assessment going till December of 2028 to pay for the fan coil replacements, so $275 a month. Another one at Sunset on the 8th floor, $639,000. This is hotel furnishings. If you bought a unit like this, highly recommend you do a remodel. Doesn't have to be a major remodel, but I would definitely put new flooring in and refurnish. It would definitely help your nightly rate. Again, units like this that are pretty close to the common area pool deck can be pretty noisy, but I think some people do enjoy, people watching and the activity. Personally, I'd rather have it a little quieter, but to each their own. Not a bad price point, but things have definitely slowed down, so they may not get that price. Marine Surf 650. This one's really pushing valuation. 9th floor, 392 square feet. Beautiful looking unit. But that's just a really high price point. So these corner units have 2 lanais. This is a really long lanai that runs pretty much the whole length of the unit. Then you got this one just off the bedroom. Great job. I mean, really quality remodel. If the things just don't do it, I mean, I don't see how you make money if you're financing the unit at this price point. And if you're paying cash, seems like you can invest your money in other places rather than spending $650 at a unit at Marine Surf, even though it's a really quality one. Waikiki Sunset on 12th floor. This also has a NUC permit. $650. I toured this one the other day. This is actually, I really like the views. I like this unit. Again, hotel furnishing, so I'd recommend updating. And the seller is willing to pay off the special assessment on a full price offer, as well as they're offering, I think, a $3,500 credit just to do some repairs in the unit. And this one on the market earlier this week, was been on the market 11 days. I thought this would have an offer by now, but there's just a good example that things are cooling down. This is another one, same listing agent, 37th floor, Mountain View, $650. This seller's also offering to pay off this special assessment at a full price offer. Great mountain views, and being in the stack, you do get a decent, not decent, but you do get some ocean view. Eastward facing, see right here. And then you also get part of the back end of Diamond Head. And this is another unit I thought would go into escrow pretty quickly. I mean, 11 days is still early, but I thought they'd have an offer by now. Another Sunset on the 37th floor, on the 5 stack, $650. Very similar to the last unit. I'm not going to show these pictures because it's pretty much identical. Just this unit does not have as good as ocean view as the prior unit. Ilikai on the 25th floor, 1 bed, 1 bath. Again, this is a floor where if you don't use the hotel management, you have to pay the house cleaning and maintenance services. $680. This is going to have city views, city mountain views. I would not recommend a client paying that price point, but they may get it. Waikiki Sunset on the 9th floor, $685,000, 1 bed, 1 bath. This one has been updated. But based on all the units on the market right now, I'd be surprised if they get this price. Waikiki Banyan on the 28th floor, Tower 2, the Mauka Tower. One bed, one bath. These units all do come with parking, 690 square feet. Here's your fees here, but keep in mind there is a special assessment here, $625, excuse me, $623, covering pool deck renovations, elevator upgrades. A little high in my opinion, but when we get the comps or sold comps, some people are still paying, like, as I mentioned earlier, pretty high prices. So this one may move at that price point. Another one, Waikiki Banyan on the 22nd floor, also Tower 2, 720,533 square feet. This one definitely needs to be updated. Pretty good ocean views. I would just like to see it a little more updated at this price point. Ilikai, 24th floor, one bed, one bath, 760,000. Again, all these units have a very standardized look on floors 2 and floors 23 through 25. Not a too bad of a price point for having some ocean views here off the Lanai. This is actually a better acquisition here on the 18th floor at Ilikai. This is a floor that has no restrictions on who you use as management. This is priced at $768. Pretty nice looking unit. Definitely would update the kitchen area. It has a lot of potential for improvements. Same with the bathroom. No parking at this building. Occasionally there are spots you can rent, but right now, last I heard, there's a wait list. Ilikai on the 5th floor, so one bed, one bath, 780,000. I like this stack. Get to see Magic Island, westward facing, the marina. You get some really beautiful sunsets here. Yeah, pretty nice. This is very custom here. Moving back to Waikiki Banyan. This is on the Tower 1, the Makai Tower on the 21st floor. Corner unit, 594 square feet, which is the largest floor plans. 785,000. Just think they're asking, this to me is a premium for a unit that needs some TLC improvements. Interesting how they put just a mirror right there. I like these corner units, but I would be surprised to see if they can get that price point. So here's another unit Banyan on the 15th floor. Another one bed. Well, they're all one bed, one bath. 805,000. This unit's been on the market before, so I'm not going to go into much detail. Really, originally priced at 900,000. Nice remodel. I just personally wouldn't want to pay that kind of money on this floor. But yeah, if you're interested, I think I just covered this in the last episode as well. Pacific Monarch, this is a one bed, one bath. I mean, this is another unit that to me, they're asking for a premium, $850. 8th floor, your monthly fees down here. Really nice looking unit. But again, I don't know how you make your numbers work really if you're financing. Beautifully done though. But this price point, I'd rather have a better ocean view. But again, really nice remodel. Ilikai Marina, this is a one bed, one bath, 12th floor, 651 square feet, price at $875. So right now, we actually manage a unit here. They're doing some spalling work. If this unit was remodeled like the last Banyan unit we just looked at, I could see this price point. I'm getting this price point. That's quite high, but could be wrong. We'll see. 2465 Kuhio, 12th floor, 987 square feet. There's a 2-bed, 2-bath. Comes with 1 parking stall. Price at 1.1. I don't cover this unit very often because the units don't come on the market too frequently, but it's right here. Like, so right over here, you have Banyan. Banyan right here, Sunset here. Nice looking unit. I have a client interested in this unit. I actually have a client who bought one in this building this past February and just wrapping up doing a really high-end remodel. This is a nice one, and I think I just saw the financials. I want to say it did gross about $145,000. These owners just bought it last year. Supposedly they dropped about 100 grand in the remodel. But this is a pretty basic building. There's some really high-end quality units in this building, but the building itself doesn't have the best curb appeal. Dated. They are planning on repainting the building soon, but this building does not have fire sprinklers. And just an FYI, highly recommend you buy a building that has fire sprinklers, or if you choose to buy a unit in a building that doesn't have fire sprinklers, expect that you're gonna have to deal with a special assessment most likely at some time sooner than later. I just attended a realtor meeting about a week ago where Sue Savio, who's the largest insurance provider in Hawaii for condos, she said that it's not required that buildings have to, well, it's known that it's not required. There's an ordinance that buildings are not required to have fire sprinklers, but they have 2 options. They can either do fire sprinklers or they can upgrade their fire alarm system. But she said insurers these days are becoming more risk adverse, and eventually she thinks that they're just not going to insure buildings that don't have sprinklers. So Sue was highly advising all condo boards to really start planning for installing sprinklers in the near future. And unfortunately, a lot of associations are underfunded. So they're either gonna have to get loans or gonna have to do special assessments. But again, it's really great to have, if a client's looking to buy a building and the building has sprinklers, it just avoids potential headaches. But this is priced pretty well based on that condition. I just spoke to the listing agent today and she thinks that it'll probably be an escrow within a week or so is her expectation. Here's a nice 2-bed, 2-bath on the 15th floor over at Idakai. It's under 1.4 million. Your fees down here. Not a bad looking unit. Obviously mountain views. But based on its overall condition, I love the floor plan where you have bedrooms on opposite sides of the unit. Kitchen could use some TLC, some improvements, but all in all, I like it, and I think that's a pretty favorable price point. Waikiki Beach Tower, one of the most iconic buildings in Waikiki for vacation rentals. 28th floor, 2-bed, 2-bath, 1,150 square feet, 3.25 million. That's right, yeah, that's a good shot there. Some of these units, as you can see here, just offer really incredible 180-degree views. And I recently had someone looking at this building, and some of these units consistently, well, not consistently, but they can do easily over $1,000 a night. Really like how they did this kitchen here. They opened it up. Sometimes these kitchens are more of a galley kitchen, but this is tastefully done. Yeah, beautiful unit. Curious to see what they're going to sell that one for. Now moving on to sold. Kuhio Village, $247,500, 65 days on the market. Island Colony on the 37th floor, 32 days on the market, $310,000. This is a good price point in my opinion. Congrats to the buyer on that one. Waikiki Grand Studio on the 6th floor, $340,000, 68 days on the market. Island Colony on the 22nd floor, 98 days on the market, $340,000. Island Colony, 13 days on the market, 39th floor. This is my clients that bought this one. Congrats to them, $365,000. Island Colony, another studio on the 33rd floor, 417,000, 20 days on the market. Luana, 12th floor, nice studio, ocean views, 455,000. Island Colony on the 31st floor. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath, 570 square feet. Price at sold for 555. Waikiki Banyan, Tower 2 on the 24th floor. This is a good comp, 625. Prices are definitely coming down with an NUC permit. That's a pretty favorable price for a buyer. Ilikai on the 23rd floor. This is a good comp to one of these units that came on the market this week. 630,000. Quite a long time on the market. There's one on the 6th floor, 705,000. So you can see how just being on an unrestricted floor can increase valuations. Waikiki Sunset on the 36th floor, 1-bed, 1-bath, 790,000. Here's one that shocked me: 37th floor, 890,000. That's a price I would expected to see maybe a year and a half ago, but I'm really surprised someone paid this price point, because in my opinion, it still needs to be remodeled. And look at right down here. Last year, it grossed about $76,000. So you factor in all your expenses, you're dropping $900,000, and then probably, if you want to remodel, incredible to me. And last sold property, Beach Villas, is 3-bed, 3-bath, almost 1,500 square feet. I actually had a client look at this past summer, actually earlier this year, excuse me. I didn't think it would be sell at this price point. I thought, look how long it was on the market. I thought the seller would probably go a little lower, but that's, again, some people are willing to pay a pretty steep price, and look at your monthly fees there as well. So, but that's a wrap for this update. Thank you for hanging in if you stuck around the whole time, and I will do my best to have an update for you next week as well. So until then, have a wonderful weekend, stay safe, and aloha.